I swear to God, this movie has more violence in it than Kick-Ass, and that is saying something. Hello once again, watchers of good movies. My name is Nick Pell, and this is once again coming from my white room. Now today I'm going to be talking about Sin City: A Dame to Kill For. Now just a little side note, heads up, I did not see Sin City before seeing this movie. I have not seen Sin City. So I went into this movie not really knowing who any of the characters were, if any of them have appeared in the first one and are now appearing in the second one, like I'm pretty sure someone knew. I was not aware of it, so I don't know any backstories or reasons why some of these people are in the situations that they are in. So just know that while I'm talking about the movie. I've also not read any of Frank Miller's comic series Sin City, so there's also that little issue. So the first thing I really noticed with this movie was its intro cinematic. The intro basically has all of the actors that are in the movie, and then puts their names alongside the characters from the comics that they portray. And so I thought that was kind of a cool way for comic fans to see who is playing what character and to kind of match them up that way. But also, one thing that really stands out in this movie is its use of color. Almost the whole movie is in black and white, and then it chooses to use actual colors like blue, green, red for certain cinematic effects. For the most part, all of the blood and whatnot is white in this movie to kind of represent the black and white feel, but every so often we will see just injuries represented by red, or it will choose to make a jacket blue or someone's eyes green. Eva Green's character, she has like the most gorgeous green eyes in this movie, and they just really stand out amongst the gray texture of the rest of her character, and that was really something really cool in my opinion, and I just could not take her eyes off of her for that and other reasons in the film. The use of violence in this movie is, like I said in the very beginning of this review, is just off the wall. That's the way there are just kills that happen that were cool to see, but just really out there and just really unexpected in the way that they were represented. Lots of beheadings in this movie, so that was kind of interesting. But the main thing which kind of bugged me about the movie is that it is two completely different stories, which for the most part have nothing to do with each other, and that was something which really bugged me. The first person that we are introduced to in this movie is Mickey Rourke's character, Marv, and he is this guy who's just kind of more or less a vigilante. He's a private detective-esque figure who just takes down scum of the earth criminals. And he is protecting this woman named Nancy. She is a stripper who works at a nightclub. She's played by Jessica Alba, who does a really good job, and I actually got to see her act. I haven't seen Jessica Alba on screen for a very long time, and so it's cool to see that she does still have some acting chops. But the first main story of this movie basically focuses on Josh Brolin's character, Dwight. He's this broken guy who is madly in love with this woman named Ava, and she comes back into his life after 4 years, and she just has a way with men which makes her very dominant and controlling and manipulative, and he falls for her tricks, and it's just a very interesting persona, and we get to see her and Marv and Brolin's characters all kind of come together, and that is what makes up the main story in this movie. And honestly, if it had just been like, I don't know, a 70-minute movie, it would have been a very interesting, really good, fun movie, because you get to see all of these events which play out, which I'm not going to get into, and it just makes for a really cool, interesting movie, which is based off of a story from a comic. And then, again, towards the beginning, we see Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, who does really well in this movie. I really liked seeing Joseph Gordon-Levitt on screen. I like him in almost any movie that he's in. His character is Johnny, and he is a very good gambler. He's very lucky with gambling. He wins slot machines, and he is a great master of card games. And he gets a little bit in over his head, taking down a big head honcho in a game of cards, and taking a lot of that guy's money, which gets him into trouble. And then we see him kind of get into trouble, get kind of beat up a little bit, and then we don't see him for about over an hour into the rest of the movie. And then towards the end, we see him for just like 20 minutes, and then we move on to more or less a third story in this movie, which focuses on Jessica Alba's character. And I don't know, it just kind of bugged me, honestly. It's like we had 3 different stories. If they had all converged at some point, and that would have been really cool just to see all of their respective villains team up. And they all do kind of have the same villain, only 2 of the 3 stories really focus on the same villain. But, I don't know, it would have worked a lot better, in my opinion, if they just stuck to the main story with Brolin and Ava Green's characters and their story arcs. That would have been so much better, because I don't know, I don't really see the point in having Joseph Gordon-Levitt's characters in there. Jessica Alba is just kind of there for a presence for the first hour of the movie until we find out she has some hidden agenda, and I don't know. That was my main issue with the movie, and it's just that all 3 stories are very interesting in their own separate ways, and it is kind of fun once you get to see them dive out. They just have nothing to do with each other whatsoever, so it makes it seem like it's just 3 different stories just put together for the sake of making it an hour and 40-minute movie. So now that that rant is done, Bruce Willis's character from the first movie, he shows up again in this movie just kind of as a ghost-like figure, and so that's kind of cool. Again, I have not seen the first Sin City, but obviously I had things spoiled for me because of it, because I hadn't seen this one, which is the sequel, and it kind of dives into what happens towards the end of Sin City. Overall, did I enjoy Sin City, A Dame to Kill For? I did, for the most part, after I started to accept that it is going to be 3 different stories. I just think I would have loved it a lot more if it had been just focusing on one of the stories as a whole, or else just converge the characters at some point. I just felt like it tried to tell too many stories in one movie, and it just didn't really work as well as it could have. So, that's my opinion. But if you did enjoy the first Sin City, you will probably enjoy this one. If you are a fan of Frank Miller's comics, you'll probably enjoy this more than I did, because you probably know what these stories are, and you would like to see them kind of be played out on screen. The ending for the movie is also very, very frank and brief also. So there is that. It was just kind of boom, done. And so that was a thing. But overall, I did enjoy it for the most part for what it was. Would I recommend seeing it? I mean, it's probably better than If I Stay, honestly, at this point. But it just depends on what movie you want to go and see this weekend at the theater. So, that's my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Did you like Sin City: A Dame to Kill more than I did? Did you hate it more than I did? Let me know. As always, my good people, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. If you so choose, I'd appreciate it immensely. And as always, my name is Nick Pell. And once again, keep on watching.